Hey guys, I'm Kai from Lucas Land & Royals. Hope you're doing well, and I have some amazing snakes to show you. We got a pied clutch that just recently shed out, so we'll get to see them for the very first time in their brand new skin. And we have a new clutch of eggs that are about to pip, and I'm gonna cut those open for you guys. It is my very first hypo clutch, so I'm pretty excited about that. But first, I gotta show you what's going on with the pond because it is pretty disgusting. Yeah, this is pretty nasty. So you're probably wondering what in the world happened here. This was crystal clear water. You can see all the way down to the bottom. The fish were doing great. You can see them wherever they were in this pond. And now I can't even see an inch underneath. Sometimes I can get a glimpse of a fish going by if it's a red or white one. But other than that, I can't see anything, and this is horrible. So what had happened was that I had two water pumps in here. There was one on this side that was just circulating pump, and then a really powerful one that was over 3,000 gallons an hour on this side that was feeding water to the filter that was then putting water into the drop-off, as well as pumping water into a UV sterilizer. And the UV sterilizer really keeps this water clean, crystal clean, because it's killing off those algae spores. Well, what had happened was that one that was sitting over there had stopped working after 31 days, 1 day after the warranty period. So I had to take the one that was circulating the water, which was only about, I think, 950 gallons per hour. I put it over there. It wasn't enough to power both the UV sterilizer and the filter. Of course, the filter is more important. So I had to shut off the water to the UV sterilizer. Right now it's just powering that filter and keeping the water circulating and filtering the water, keeping all that beneficial bacteria alive. So I did order a new pump. It should be here in about 4 days. And once it does, I'll be able to put everything back to the way they were, get that UV sterilizer powered back on, and slowly but surely, I don't really know how long it's gonna take because it really depends on how dirty that water gets by the time I get my UV sterilizer powered back on, but it will slowly clear that water up and kill all that algae that's floating around in there. I'll keep you guys posted on that. For now, let's go inside. All right, so let's get to the snake related stuff. I have a clutch of pies that I want to show you. They have all recently shed out, and I hope you're not bored of these hatchlings because I certainly am not. I do show you them about 4 times, which might be a little excessive, but that's just my method. I show you the clutch of eggs when I pull them from the mom. I show you the same clutch when I cut them open. Then I show you that clutch again when they all come out of the eggs and I clean them up. And then I show you the last time after they all shed out. And if they're exceptional animals, I might throw them into another video here and there. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it and having fun. It certainly is for me. And speaking of fun, I do have another clutch of eggs that I plan to cut in this video. So you'll take a look at that a little bit later. But first, let's take a look at this pied clutch. And if I haven't said it already, the male is a coral glow pied and the female is a normal pied. So let's take a look. I just absolutely love hatching clutches where both parents are visuals for the same recessive gene, because you know you're going to get a clutch of all visuals. And this is an awesome clutch. In a way, it's a little bit boring because, you know, it leaves very little to way of imagination, but still really exciting to be cutting open a clutch of all pieds and now to see them for the first time after their first shed. And you can see that even within the same gene, you get some variation. This one right here is probably the most orange of the entire clutch. And then this one is one of the darker ones. So you got variation even within the pied gene itself. What's cool about this one is you can see that pattern right behind the head. You got 2 little hooks. That's really cool to me. So these are all female, and I know that because I did sex them, but I'll do that again for you as well. Because the dad is a coral glow pied and it is a male maker, 90% accuracy when it comes to sexing these just by the fact that they either have coral glow, that is a male maker. So if they have coral glow, 90+% accuracy that these are going to be male, and the ones that don't have coral glow are going to be female. So let's see. So this is a female. There's a little bit of a mess that she made. And again, look at the difference in color. Look at the difference in color. You can see the outline is orange on both of these. A lot of times with pieds you get some black outline, very thick black outline, but with this clutch you get a little bit of black outline here and there, but for the most part they are bright orange where the pattern and the white meet up. The mom, I've mentioned this before, the mom is one of the brightest pied females I've ever seen, so it only makes sense that she's going to produce really, really bright orange babies. Did I sex this one? No, I don't think I did. So again, should be a female. And no hemipenes there, so that's another female. So we got two females. These two should also be females. We'll move on to this one. Look at that. I love the fact that these are all low white. Because what I like to do is put more pattern, put more color, change up the pattern, change up the color. And so doing that with my projects, I like to have the pattern so I can see what's being changed, as opposed to like an all white snake with just pattern on this head, like a spider pied, for example. Like that's not something that I want to shoot for. I want to shoot for ones with more pattern, at least a 50-50. That's a female as well. And I believe the one that we haven't checked out is in this corner. So this should be the last female of the clutch. Again, a lot of pattern. And you can see all of these have striping down the back. Wherever you see pattern, it's got a stripe, which I really like. Sometimes you get this really wonky pattern, but this is a very nice and uniform pattern. You can see that throughout all of these, even with the coral glows, which I'll show you in just a minute. But yeah, you can see these are really, really nice saddles. All right, let's sex this one. That one looks to be a female as well. So there we are. There's the 4 normal pies. They are all female. And now let's move on to the coral glows. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at all the lavenders, the purples, the bright yellows and oranges. As it ages, the purples may fade away a little bit into more of the yellows, typical banana colors, but you'll still get some of the purples. Some of the purples will remain into adulthood, and you'll get some spotting as well. I'll show you the dad. Let me, this guy is really squirmy. Let me pause for a second. Let me get some of these situated, and then we'll continue. So this one is the dad. It's a little bit pink where he is white, and that's because he's going to shed. You can see the bright pink belly. So he's about to go in the shed any day now. But what I wanted to show you was that some of the lavender colors will fade away. It's kind of hard to see. You can kind of make out where that lavender saddle used to be. And like with pieds, because it blows out the pattern so much, it's harder to predict where these black freckles come through. These are not mites, they're not bugs, they're not parasites. These are black freckles, very typical of a banana. So you can see, kind of see the outline here. Come on, buddy. Hold still. Again, he's in shed, so it's going to be hard to see, but once he's out of shed, you'll see a little bit more of the lavender color, but you can kind of make out the saddle right there, and where the lavender is going to be where the freckles show up. So there we are. So this was that squirmy one. Hopefully it'll calm down. Let me pop this one before it starts to run away again. And yeah, you can see, even though the hemipenes are not coming out, you can see 2 red dots. So that's where the hemipenes would be if they popped out. But look at how gorgeous. Look at all the colors that it has as a hatchling. Again, the colors do change when they grow, but that's kind of just part of the game here. A lot of pattern here. Tons of pattern on this one, so you get to see a lot of it. You get to see a lot of the change, and that's kind of part of keeping ball pythons, and you get to watch them see them grow and see them change throughout their life. All right, yeah, this is definitely that squirmy one, so I'm going to put him away. And here is that last one. Hopefully this one is a little bit more cooperative than his brother. Another coral glow pied. Beautiful animal here. Check out all that pattern. So this is the striping that you saw in almost all of its siblings. And then this right here is usually what I see with a lot of pies, this kind of wacky pattern. Just this section right here between my thumb. So it's kind of wacky, but everywhere else you can see this one still has a lot of striping. So very consistent with the rest of this clutch, all of its hatchlings, all of its clutch mates, I mean. Gorgeous animal. Let me see if I can pop this one before it also starts getting all squirmy. Come on, stay still. I think this one was, I think the last time I popped this was a boy. I'm not seeing it right now, so, but I'll confirm at a later date. But for now, I'm still calling this a male. Feel 90%, 90+% confident that this is going to be a male based on, you know, the rules of this banana/coral glow sex-linked gene. So there he is. I'm going to put him away, and in a few days I'll feed all of them. So that's the clutch, and if you haven't noticed, I'll tell you now, I really like pieds. What I didn't tell you was that the male that started the clutch, that coral glow pied male, he's also 50% het for hypo. So there's a chance that some of these hatchlings could be hypo as well. I didn't get a chance to prove him out, but you know, if you guys do purchase one of these hatchlings from me, I will keep that on record. And when I do prove this male out, I will contact the customers who purchased those hatchlings and let them know. All right, so now let's move on to the next clutch, and I'm going to be cutting open some eggs. This is an interesting clutch because the genes are heavy on one side. So the female is a fire spinner blast, and she was sold to me as a het for hypo, but the breeder also mentioned that she could be a visual hypo. There was just not enough pattern on her to really tell for sure. So I got her as a het, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to try to prove her out. The male that sired this clutch is actually a classic that is double het for hypo and puzzle. Before I go and get that clutch of eggs to cut, I'm going to go ahead and get that female, put her on camera, and you guys comment down below whether or not you think she is a het for hypo or a visual hypo, and then watch the rest of this video as I cut open the eggs and see if we can prove her out. So we'll see what we get here. Let's see, how should I do this? How should I do this? All right, I'll leave the eggs here. And we can see one of them has pipped already, and that was the rollout. So these two over here I had marked with an R. Those were the ones that rolled out. The female wasn't coiled around them. She was just coiled around these. She kicked those out for some reason. I don't know why, but you can obviously see that there's a hatchling there. So it was a good egg, but we'll make that determination after we cut that open and see how well the baby does after it comes out. So what I'd like to do first is just remove all of these straws, and then I'll take the entire tray out. This way I can do the cutting right over the perlite. So we'll start with the one that's already cut out, that already pipped out. And that little head was fairly light. Now, because it has already pipped, I'm not expecting any red veins, but with the other ones, they haven't pipped yet, so we might see a little bit of red veins, a little bit of blood, but that's okay. It doesn't hurt the animal at all. Okay, this looks like a hypo, to be honest. Let me see if I can get you guys a better view. That does look kind of like a hypo. I've never hatched hypos before, so I'm not 100% sure. But if you look at that head, and I'm sorry I'm moving out of frame here, but if you look at that head, it's very light. Again, we have fire, we have spider, pinstripe, and pastel. So this doesn't look like a pastel pinstripe to me. I'm not sure. I think this is a hypo pinstripe. Pinstripe's pretty obvious. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's move on to the other rollout. All right, I can feel the baby inside. And because that one is already pipped, fairly confident, very confident that all of these are fully developed and they're just going to be coming out on their own in just the next day or so. But because I am a very anxious and curious person, I'm going to cut these. And this doesn't hurt the baby at all. In fact, there is a little added benefit of ensuring that the baby is going to be able to make it out. So by cutting it open, I am essentially giving it a portal to this world. Looks exactly the same as the one from earlier. They look virtually identical. Virtually identical. So I could have two pinstripe hypos right off the rip. Oh, let me give you a closer look at this one. Check that out. I mean, it's very light in color. Very hypo-ish or ghost-ish. Awesome, awesome. If those are hypos, then I'm doing great right now. And you can see a couple over here. There's a kind of a transparent spot. This one, that one right there, that one up there. So technically I am at day 54 and a half. Day 55 would be tomorrow, but because one's already pipped and I saw some spots over there where it looks like the egg is not retaining its moisture anymore, I figure I just cut it open, and that way at least the baby won't drown. It'll have a path to air. All right, so what? No way. No way. It looks like another hypo pinstripe. So you see right there in the middle, and these are the veins I was talking about earlier. It doesn't hurt the baby at all, but you can see right there in the middle, that's a little bit of the unabsorbed yolk. It still has a little bit absorbing to do, but that'll most likely get absorbed within the next day. And usually it only takes about 2 days for the babies to come out, but There's been times where they come out right away. There's been times where I've had to wait almost a week, almost 9 days for a baby to come out of its egg. So we'll take a look at this one. I've already picked this one up. So this is the one that has a little bit, it was all white when it was laid, and just recently it started to turn this transparent, this translucent shell started to turn translucent. That's what I'm trying to say here. But it's still very full. You can see a little bit of the white coming out. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. This one is different. Wow, look how bright this one is. This is finally not a pinstripe. This is a spider fire pastel. That's what it looks like to me. What I'm a little bit confused on is how light the webbing is, right? So on a spider, these markings are very dark against a very light, like a fire or pastel body, and these are very light. So I'm wondering if this may also be another hypo. So again, this is my first time cutting a clutch that could contain visual hypos, so I am not very familiar with how to identify them right out of the egg. So, I mean, I'll be honest, there's a lot of genes here that I'm not very good at identifying. I'm seeing a little bit of strangeness right there. Not sure what to make of it. Hopefully there's nothing going on that is that's not normal, but hopefully everything's fine there. It almost looks like it's got an extra flap of skin right here, which is really strange. All right, hopefully everything is normal. Let's move on to the next egg. So this one again has a little bit of this transparency, translucent stuff going on here and here. But we'll see what's inside. Okay. All right. This helps me a little bit because this to me looks like a spinner, a pastel spinner. Not sure if it has the fire gene in it or not, but you can clearly see how black those spots are, those dots and dashes and spots, compared to, say, this one, which is also a very light body, but the blacks almost appear a little bit faded. I hope the camera's picking that up. You can see that even though the one over here on my right, the black webbing is much thicker, it's lighter, almost like a grayed out color, whereas over here, even though they're very thin, you can see how dark they are. So I feel like this one on the right is a hypo, this one is not a hypo. And the fact that I got 1, 2, 3, 4, assuming those are all hypos, that's more than half the clutch. The dad is a double het hypo puzzle, and the mom, like I said earlier, I wasn't sure if she is a visual hypo or a het, but now that I got half the clutch as what I believe to be hypos, and if that is true, then I feel like she is more likely to be a visual hypo than a het. So move on to the next egg. This is second from the last. Again, we got some translucency going on here. Come on, let's see if we get anything different. When they're different, it really helps to identify what they are when you get some differences. When they're all the same, it's like, well, now you have nothing to compare to. And this one, that's a spider. That is a spider hypo. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe pastel? It's certainly not as light as this one, but again, we could just be looking at the different body parts. Now, I think this one is hypo spider, and I'm not really sure if it has anything else. Maybe one other gene, like a pastel or the fire, but I feel like maybe this is just hypo spider. Not 100% sure, obviously, for the reasons I've stated so many times already. All right, let's move on to the next one. So far, no normals. So far, they've all been combos, which is great. So I think my luck should have run out already. This one is probably going to be a normal. Nope, 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 nope. Not a normal. Pastel pinstripe, lemon blast. Yeah, I'm used to seeing this. This is something that I could identify. All right, I'm proud of myself. I can identify one of these. Awesome. So that was some crazy odds. Either that or I just have no clue on how to identify hypos. It was my first hypo clutch after all. So for the next video, I'm hoping to cut open my very first clown clutch of the season, as well as receive another pied clutch. So that's gonna be awesome. And hopefully I can catch that on video for you guys. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and you want to be informed of future uploads, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. And as always, thanks for watching. Please share, and I'll see you guys next time.